Welcome back to Shib Planet. The Shiba Inu community has been on a burning spree lately, and there have been billions of SHIB tokens which have been burnt over the past few months. Today we're going to take a look at exactly how much SHIB has been burned, and we're also going to answer a very common question, which is, if there's been so many tokens burned, how come the circulating supply has not changed on the exchanges? And also, if there's been so many tokens burned, how has this been impacting the current price of Shiba Inu token? Did you know that most people massively underestimate how much it actually takes to burn enough to impact the price or the value of a token? So after today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how much we would actually need to burn to make a change. And I'm also going to show you a metric of how many people have actually currently used the burn portal and how this metric is actually not a good sign at the moment. And with that said, we're also going to discuss this title from IBT. Shib's Kusama has a massive plan for Shiba burn, which could help the community destroy over 100 tokens annually. And I'm also going to talk about why this is actually quite a misleading title. Yes, Shytoshi does have a plan for burning massive amount of Shiba Inu tokens, but the calculations which are actually used in this article to me are a little misleading. So the point of this video is to show you a little more grounded reality of how burns are going to play out in the Shiba Inu ecosystem. Welcome back to Shib Planet, everyone. This is Ace, and so the hot topic of the day is Shiba Inu token burns. And if you've got a burning desire to find out the truth about Shiba Inu burns, then this is the video for you. Things are about to get hot in here. Okay, that's enough with the burn puns. Let's get right to it. According to the Crypto Basic, mysterious wallet burns 309 million Shiba Inu in 2 days after launch. And the article mentions that on August 23, a wallet was activated and it burned a total of 309 million Shiba Inu tokens in multiple transactions. That's about $3,800 in value burned from a single wallet. Now, as everyone knows, burns are an integral part of the Shiba Inu community, and through various methods, the team and the community intend to reduce Shiba Inu's massive circulating supply of 549 trillion tokens in an effort to drive up the price. According to shibburn.com, which is a community-made website which tracks all of the token burns, there have now been a total of 410.3 trillion tokens burned in total, most of which came from Vitalik Buterin, who burned roughly 410 trillion SHIB tokens and roughly 3.7 billion coming from the rest of the community. I mean 370 billion. And from this website, you should be able to see all the burns which take place on a daily basis, and even where the burns came from. Like every so often you do see the source of the burns, particularly the Shiboshi renaming burns over here. And then there's this. According to Planet Crypto, over 2,100 Shiba Inu users have burned SHIB via the burn portal. And personally, I was quite surprised at this number because only 2,103 wallets appear to have used the burn portal. So that's less than 1% of all Shiba Inu holders. Now, currently, the burn portal has over 62 billion SHIB tokens which have been burnt, and that's roughly a value of $800 million. And I was actually surprised that this amount only came from just over 2,000 holders. So that means statistically nearly everyone who's watching this video has never actually burnt any SHIB using the burn portal, which is quite interesting because most videos on burns typically tend to be the most popular ones. The article says, with 2,103 addresses now having burnt SHIB, some 0.17% of SHIB holders out of the 1.2 million have contributed to the burn portal with only about 3,600 transactions. It goes on to say that the top 100 contributors to the burn portal have destroyed about 40 billion SHIB, which is about 65% of the total. Meanwhile, the top 10 holders destroyed about 40% of SHIB, which was roughly about 25.2 million SHIB. So my question is this: I wonder why so few people have used the burn portal, seeing as it's literally the one direct mechanism which we currently have in the community before Shibarium gets launched. I think perhaps people misunderstand the supply issue of the Shiba Inu token. I'll try and explain it like this. Shiba Inu was not formed like other centralized projects. It doesn't have an inherent burn mechanism built in its smart contract. It was actually just launched by one individual with no tokens allocated to anyone. There were no core developers, no venture capitalists, and not even a website until months later. all tokens which exist in circulation at the moment were purchased off the market, and that goes for the current developers too, because they are also community members just like us. Shytoshi actually joined SHIB about 6 months after SHIB was launched, and he bought his first SHIB, from what I understand, off exchanges just like everyone else. So in short, there are no spare SHIB tokens sitting around, and that's why burns have to be a community effort. That's also why Shytoshi and the team have made sure that Shibarium will have a transactional burn feature that all future projects will burn SHIB. But those burns will only happen when the utility is used, for example with ShibaSwap and the eventual adoption of the SHIB metaverse. Did you know that I calculated that the current 2100 wallets that have used the burn portal, they burnt roughly 30 million SHIB tokens each if you average it out. I personally didn't burn that much, I burnt about 5 million SHIB, but that's just the average. So even at that rate, if even less than half of our current holders of 1.2 million, if they burnt, we would have actually burnt about 15 trillion SHIB tokens by now at that rate. And that's assuming, of course, that we get the same percentage of whale burners as we currently have. But I guess most people are just waiting for Shibarium to do the rest of the SHIB utility to do the heavy lifting. And so the reason why the circulating supply hasn't been changed or updated yet is simply because the burns haven't been significant enough at the moment to warrant an update. We would need at least a few trillion before CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko would update their sites. And I don't think we've burned even a trillion SHIB yet since Vitalik's burn. I think we've burnt about maybe close to a quarter, or definitely over a third of a trillion at the moment. Now, to me, the greatest strength of the Shiba Inu community is its community, but we can only be as strong as we're willing to participate, in my opinion. And to this is what Shytoshi said earlier this year. He says in a previous tweet, "Massive burns will require a true community effort, and we are working towards it on many levels. It'll take some time, and I hope the timing works out perfect." So let's wrap this up with a review of this article. SHIB's Kusama has massive plan for Shiba Inu burn. Could help community destroy over 100 tokens annually. First of all, I usually like the IBT, but to me this was some misleading journalism in my opinion, because the title suggests that Shytoshi specifically said that over 100 trillion tokens will be burnt, but that's not what he personally said. From his previous communications, we know that Shytoshi will introduce various utility all running on Shibarium which will burn SHIB. But that 100 trillion amount came from a hypothetical attempt to forecast future burns from a community member on Twitter, which was just added to this article. So let's take this apart, shall we? Anyway, in this hypothetical scenario, it asserts that in a bad year, over 100 trillion SHIB tokens can be burnt. And this is going to come mostly from all the metaverse lands which are being renamed, also from ShibaSwap 2.0 trading volume, and then finally from all the transactions which happen on Shibarium outside of ShibaSwap. And if I head back to the top here, we know that regarding the SHIB metaverse, we know that regarding the lands, that in SHIB metaverse there's going to be 96,000 land plots available. And just like with the current Shiboshis, when you rename your land, it's going to cost $100 in SHIB, which will be burned. And this, according to this article, will burn roughly 350 billion SHIB tokens. And I don't have any problem with that. Actually, I think that the potential could actually be a lot more, because I do believe that people can rename their lands multiple times. And also when people sell their lands, those new holders will want to rename their lands too. So this might be an ongoing burn facility, depending on the success of the metaverse. The only thing to keep in mind is that the price of SHIB might be a lot higher by the time the metaverse comes out. So the actual tokens burnt per transaction might end up being less. So they may need to revise this amount here. And in the second scenario, the user assumes that, regarding ShibaSwap 2.0, this user assumes that in a poor month, ShibaSwap has a trading volume of between $10 billion and $15 billion. And at a current burn percentage of about 1%, they claim that this will result in 44 trillion SHIB tokens burnt. And that sounds great. My only issue is, where did they get that amount of $10 to $15 billion volume? because when I look at the current analytics on ShibaSwap, what I did is I added up all the current volume over a 30-day period, and over the past few months, it can total at roughly about anywhere between 250 and 300 million dollars within a month. And I do understand that we're currently experiencing low volumes because we're in a bear market. And so the only thing I thought is the only way I can substantiate $10 billion or $15 billion in monthly volume is if we switch to a monthly view, and well, I mean an all-time view, and then we look at some of the performance from the bull market periods where we had peaks of nearly half a billion dollars in volume on a single day. But and I think that was pretty cool. But on average, I do think that in bullish periods we have between $50 and $100 million per day, and even at that, that'll give us anywhere between 3 billion to 5 billion volume per month. So taking that into consideration, I would say that a more realistic outlook would probably be around the 15 trillion SHIB tokens burnt in a year, remembering that we assume that SHIB's price is going to be going up as well, which will make burns a lot more difficult. And I think it's important to note that regarding that 1% burn, at a 1% burn rate, that would make ShibaSwap one of the more expensive decentralized exchanges at the moment, because I do know that Uniswap charges about 0.3% per transaction for liquidity fee providers, plus also a gas fee. And I know at the moment the current version of ShibaSwap also has a similar mechanism, but the burns might make it a bit more. So that would mean ShibaSwap would have 3 fees. Firstly, a liquidity provision fee, a burn fee, and the associated gas fee. But I do think that in the end, it'll be the same about as other exchanges, because Shibarium fees should be super low in terms of gas fees because I think gas fees on L2s typically are much less than $1, even less than a cent in the case of many other L2s. Now, finally, Shibarium transactions which happen outside of ShibaSwap. That's the final section of this article. My only issue with this is this user has put $5 billion in trading activity on ShibaSwap without telling us where they got that that $5 billion from, or where it could come from. But I do know that wellies will most probably make up a part of these transactions. I once did a video where I estimated that wellies could do about $100 million in a year, and this is based on each of the 300 franchise stores which have been, which expression of interest have gone forward, globally making about $100,000 a year each, plus transactions from their respective supply chains. So to say $5 billion a year, I think it is possible in the long run, but it would require massive adoption of Shibarium by the community, entrepreneurs, and also developers. And I suppose that's why we're having the Shibarium hackathon very soon. So all in all, I do think Shiba Inu will burn massively, but I don't think it'll be at a rate of 100 trillion a year. Maybe about a third of that. Especially if even at the moment less than 1% of the community is even using a simple feature like the burn portal. But you never know, because there are actually a ton of other community-led projects which are happening even at the moment. And that is it for today's burn update, guys. If you like the way I cover the Shiba Inu ecosystem, the best way you can continue to support this channel is by simply hitting the like button and also leaving a SHIB related comment. I'm also interested to know, for those of you who haven't used the burn portal yet, do you guys plan to use it at some point, especially whilst the price is still low? But once again, thank you so much for watching, SHIB Army. Thank you so much. This is Ace. Peace.